Hello, everyone. Welcome to the report submission walkthrough video series for the Texas Energy Fund's outside of ERCOT Grant Program. In this video, we'll walk through the end-to-end process to submit a quarterly performance report in the Texas Energy Fund portal, also referred to as the TxEF Portal. We will, 1, review the task assignment email, 2, detail how to navigate the TxEF portal, and 3, submit a quarterly performance report. Let's get started. When the quarterly performance report is available to be requested in the TxEF portal, you will receive this email. It will inform you that a new task has been assigned to you and that you should log into the portal, locate the task, and complete it before the due date. Now we'll shift over to the TxEF portal. As you can see, I have already logged in. If I hadn't logged in, you would see a login icon in the top right corner. And upon clicking that, you would be able to enter your email and password. Since I've done that, I will now shift over to the My Dashboard section, where if I scroll down, you can see the OEGP Quarterly Performance Report section. And we'll go to the award form. As you can kind of see, I have populated some information in here, but definitely not all. And to orient you here, there are a couple different progress bars. You can see on the top section here is a light blue progress bar denoting how far in the process I am, as well as a couple different smaller bubbles indicating how much progress I've made within each individual section, as well as some asterisks denoting required sections and required fields that need to be populated in order to submit the report. Once I've completed these sections, they will populate with a green bubble and a white check mark. Now that you understand the form itself, I will pivot back to the introduction section. The introduction page details the sections of the report, as well as provides some resources in case you need guidance while completing the form. Once you've reviewed, click on the next page section, and now we'll start populating the project details. Before you begin, we'd like to suggest that you have your grant agreement and budget and planning templates on hand for easy reference. I'm going to go through and populate this with some test information, again, denoting these are all required fields. However, you can find this information within your budget template. As we get down to the period covered by this report, this includes the year, as well as the reporting period. So we are in the first reporting period, which will always be the 3 previous months that you will be reporting on. Next, you'll see an overall percent status of completion. This is a field that you populate with your kind of understanding of completion of the total project. So we'll say 10% for now. As we get through this information, we would ask for you as you're populating it to always kind of come down here if you need to and save as draft when appropriate. That way you don't lose progress, and you can see that some progress has been made within the bubble. Now we'll shift down to the activities and milestones sections. This information is pulled from your project planning documents. So 1, I'd like for you to check for accuracy as you're completing based on the project planning documents you've populated, but we'll go through and we'll put in some percentages and some test narrative. In the test narrative, we'd like for you to capture any narrative describing why you're at the percentage you're at, whether you're tracking ahead or behind. Milestone section as well is populated from your project planning document that have been memorialized within your grant agreement. Again, we'll put in some percentages here. In populating this in actuality, we'd ask for you to provide some precise percentage completions as well as some good narrative that we'd like to make sure captures the essence of where you're at in the project. Just populating this for use of use now. And you can see within each individual window of this information, there is a save as you go feature as well. Lastly, for the performance metrics, you can see some of these are quarterly based and some of them are end of project. Ask for you, if they're end of project, you can always just put in an A, or if they're not in the current period, feel free to put NA. So NA for not applicable. And we'll save those changes as well. Next, we'll pivot to the narrative section. This is where free text section where you'll capture kind of any what was denoting anything that was completed and during this period. You could say procured a vendor. In providing this actual information, we'd ask for you to be a little more detailed than I am in populating now, but please provide some descriptive information. For the next period, we could say vendor to install poles. Again, ask for you to be a little more descriptive in populating in real when you're actually completing. Lastly, you can see risks identified. Again, capturing any risks that have been identified throughout the period of performance. If there are previous historical risks, ask for you to also just kind of capture those and say they're still being experienced and anything that might be experienced there. So right now we're going to put NA. And then capturing any mitigation steps that are being taken. You'll see here if there's any key personnel changes, asking for you to capture those in this free text section. Any scope changes or scope issues, capturing those, any schedule issues, any project status information here. Again, we're just going to put NA for ease of populating. And then you'll see a section here capturing an upload a file section. In here, I'd like to spend just a few seconds talking about the unique naming convention that we like for you all to use in populating this information. So here you can see that we do ask you to use a naming convention, follows this format, using AWD to denote that it is an award document, the application number, again, captured in your grant agreement, as well as within the TxEF portal. The report code, you can see that there is a specific report code that we've created for the quarterly performance reports. We'd ask for you to use that. So it's PERFREP, as well as a file name that you use. It could be field report. It could be anything that is capturing the essence of the file. Lastly, you'll see the month, date, and year using that format. So you can see an example of that report or of that naming convention here below. With that, we will shift back to the TxEF portal. And you can see I'm still on this page. I am going to save as draft. I'm apparently missing one section. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. That's right here. And then we'll save this one as draft. All right, you can see there's a green bubble with a white check mark. Next, we'll move to the attestation section. This is just that, a section attesting that the information is true and correct. So you'll click the box here. We will put in today's date. And we'll put John Doe. So that is my name. We'll save this as draft. Upon saving as draft, you can see the attestation section is completed. And now the submission bubble has turned blue with the ability to submit the report. Once you click submit, you will no longer be able to edit the report. Therefore, you will need to change. You won't be able to change anything, but if needed, you can reach out to the OEGP at txenergyfund.texas.gov to reach out to the TxEF administrator for guidance or contact your grant manager. Once you've successfully submitted the quarterly performance report, a submission confirmation message will appear that completes the end-to-end process for submitting a quarterly performance report in the TxEF portal. You may receive follow-up requests for additional substantiation from the TxEF administrator in the form of an RFI. The performance report user guide also contains additional information on the process for submitting the report. Thank you so much for watching.